Welcome back to Southern Character, where we share true life stories of grit and grace from authentic Southerners who follow their compass. I'm your host, James Lewis, and today I'm in the New Orleans Garden District at the iconic Aqua Blue Commander's Palace with proprietor Ti Adelaide Martin. Thank you so much for having me at your table today.
We are thrilled to have you here.
Well, I can't believe you actually took this interview. You got so much going on, right?
Yeah, I was probably not thinking straight when I picked this time or day, but what the hell, here we are.
It
is Mardi Gras.
It is the Gras, and I definitely appreciate your time. So
other way around.
So I'm just going to dive right into it because I know you got stuff to do. So
no, take your time.
Yeah. No.
You know what? As of this point, I got nowhere to go and all day to get there.
I love it.
All right.
And I'll pump the brakes for a second. So your mother, Ella, used to say, never open a restaurant across from a cemetery. You don't get a lot of foot traffic until you do. Mm-hmm. And we're literally sitting across from Lafayette Cemetery.
Yeah.
Right? I want to make this all about you, but just understanding that your mother took the reins on this place back in 1974 and let it rip. Is there a quality or a memory of hers that you try to emulate or hold close to you in your day-to-day?
About 1 million.
Yeah.
But she never said until you do. In fact, she had said, joked, get a lot of walking traffic when you're across from a cemetery. So, but I literally went to her one day and said, guess what? They're doing tours of the cemetery, and they're coming in droves.
Yeah.
And so we've laughed about that for years. The cemetery is kind of a draw now.
Yeah, no, it's a huge draw.
And we opened the little creperie, the Petite Blue, right across the street because so many people would, show up and maybe they weren't dressed ready for commanders. And so we do all that now. But yes, there's so many things about my mother. People think she was one of the greatest restaurateurs in America, but she was also one of the best mothers.
Wonderful.
So I won the lottery. That's absolutely. And we just had a ball together. I mean, she was tough, though. I'd worked real hard all night, and, she lived next door. She and my Aunt Dottie still lives there. And
so Dottie still lives next door?
Still there.
Okay.
So, I would finish, where I'd go over there to see that, and they would, have, been in the restaurant that day or something, or the night before, and they would tell me it's the worst restaurant in America and everything that I'm doing wrong. Anyway, they were tough. But, and then every now and then we were pretty good, doing all right.
She ever praised you?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I'm really teasing. She was very good. In fact, one of her things that she was really good at is you have to learn to stop and ring bells and whistles. When something good happens, don't just let it pass by quickly, Stop for a moment and, get with everybody and celebrate if you win an award or just exciting things. So stop and ring bells and whistles and acknowledge the moment. And I do think that's the type of thing that New Orleans has figured out in general, and that Commanders tries to be a big part of helping people celebrate. Speaking
of celebrations and being in the moment, and that's really what's the driver for Southern Character is being present. I read this quote from William Penn, who was the Quaker founder of Pennsylvania, way back in the day. But this quote is great. It's, time is what we want most, but what we use the worst.
Isn't that something? I like that.
I like that quote.
I like that. No, we got quotes. We love quotes because I think, people listen to them. I mean, there's a box of them in here. One of ours is a fanatical commitment to the consistent execution of the fundamentals. And no, I can't say that after 2 Sazeracs. But so to make the celebrations go so well, you got to do the ABCs,
right.
And we used to say, is the hot food hot? Is the cold food cold? Is the bathroom clean? Then I'll talk to you about your fancy new dish or your whatever the hell else you want to talk about. You know what I mean? So we just take all that really seriously so that you and we can have fun, But yeah, many, many quotes.
There's so much I know that goes into and so much I don't know probably that goes into the operation. I definitely want to get into that, but I want to take a little step back. So Lally, who's your co-proprietor, Ralph's sister.
Yeah.
How close were you to in age growing up? Were you 6 years apart, 3 years? How close?
We don't talk about that.
You don't talk about that? Yeah. That's fine.
It's the South.
You don't have to people.
You're going to ask me what color my real hair is now? I mean, come on.
No. I wasn't asking. Sorry. I wasn't going to ask you how old you were. I just wondered how close you guys were.
I'm teasing with you, darling.
No, that's fine.
We're 5 or 6 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious if you guys were in school together, in college together.
And by the way, I know she looks younger than me, which is really aggravating.
She's not sitting here right now. You look way younger than her.
Hey, really aggravating. Anyway.
Oh, man. I started this one off bad.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
I don't know. Just try to move forward.
We went to the same college, not at the same time.
Right. So you went to Southern Methodist, and that's really where I wanted to start. So you go to SMU, you come back and you get your MBA at Tulane, right? What did you study at SMU, by the way?
Business.
Business.
Because I didn't think I was going into the restaurant business.
Right. Then you go back to like Texas and you're doing real estate. What's that all about?
Well, I was interested in business, and I was doing real estate syndication until that became illegal. But anyway, it's a whole nother story. No, I really was involved in commercial real estate, and we were buying major apartment complexes and shopping centers and things like that. So anyway, I was very interested in that, and I was very busy doing that.
Right.
And then I got a phone call from my Aunt Dottie that my mother was going to have heart surgery the next day, and drive in, and on the way home, I'm like, what are you doing, stupid? You know? And so I've been started working with my mom right then.
So that was mid-'80s, right?
That was, yes, 85.
Okay.
6.
Yeah, were you in Dallas or Houston? Or I'm just curious.
I was in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came back to be with your mother, but you didn't walk right in the door as a co-proprietor of Commander's Palace. So where did you start in the biz?
You know, in fact, I'm just fascinated with business, period.
Okay.
You know, I'm a student of many things. Hospitality, food, and just business in general, and leadership and things like that. And so at the time, I started a little food products company called Creole Cravings. And we later sold it to McCormick, but we had spices and we had a Creole mayonnaise, which was basically Commander's salad dressing. Anyway, so I did that for a few years, and then I kind of was around and starting to help a little bit and got the restaurant itch. And my cousin Dickie and I decided to go do a restaurant, and we started Palace Cafe.
Okay.
Started working on that in probably 89, 90.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great spot.
Yeah. So then I was in it. So then we did a little family reorganization thing, and I ended up back over here. It just worked out that way, and it was been really nice to have Mom, you know, and Dottie right next door, and so it's just worked out great. It all did just kind of evolve. But I love restaurants. I like being in them, going to them, reading about them, writing about them.
Yeah.
You know, I just love restaurants.
Oh, I mean, you write a lot. I mean, you have articles in Food and Wine, and, you know, so I was reading that one the other day. But, you're actually a great writer.
I didn't see that one coming, but anyway, thanks.
No problem. I read a lot, too.
I'm
a very curious guy.
Good.
So, no, I like to dig in before I interview someone. So, anyway, the operation, to me, of Commanders is fascinating. I did go back and watch Commanding the Table again, knowing that I just wanted to refresh. And I don't know if this was in Commanding the Table or something else that I saw, but either your mother or Adelaide, you know, were basically relating it to show business. You know, hey, you do 2 shows a day, you reapply your lipstick, you drink a scotch, you get back out there, you do it again. I was like, God, I love that, you know, mentality.
Yeah.
So dinner service 7 days a week.
Yes.
Lunch service is Thursday, Friday.
For right now.
For now? Okay.
Well, it's always been 2 shows daily, 7 days a week until COVID. And so we just haven't added back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lunch.
Gotcha.
So.
And then jazz brunch service on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
So, like, what time does your day start and end? Like,
well, I work somewhat less than I used to. I used to run in here early in the morning. I don't do that anymore. So, but a lot of times I have something going on. It just depends on the day. And my cousin Lally and I split it up. And we have other wonderful folks in the restaurant that, you know, we consider our ambassadors that, you know, help us. Like, I just ran out of there to come see you, and I handed it off to Kenny. And I'm like, all right, you got it. I'll see y'all tonight. But we just divide it up, and it works out. I mean, so I started this culinary school with my cousin Dickie, and George Brower and Carol Mark. Anyway, a bunch of us. And so a lot of days, you know, like yesterday I was there. You were probably wondering where I was.
Well, I heard you were there this morning.
I did that today, too. Yeah, yesterday was a fundraising meeting there. Today we did a little TV gig there, you know, with the school. But, you know, a lot of times there'll be that or some other civic thing I'm involved in. And then I, you know, get in here lunchtime and stay through the evening.
Well, I was definitely going to ask you about the school, but I guess one question is, what does Al Roker think of your Sazerac?
Well, I don't really care. It's a damn good Sazerac. He would not be. I mean, you know, we New Orleanians, people who care about cocktails in New Orleans, know what a Sazerac should taste. They did seem to like it, and they were really nice. And I've made drinks with him before.
Okay.
They like it, and I gave them all the advice. And everybody should remember this: wherever you order a Sazerac, just say to them, "Not too sweet." And then more often than not, you got a good shot. Otherwise, you put too much sugar and you just ruin the whole damn thing. I mean, that's not what it's about. This is a big girl drink.
It is.
Yes. And as I like to say, do have just one, as you're not nearly as attractive as you think you are after 2. So it's the most important drink, and you have to get it right. And it's how I test my own bartenders.
Nice. You
know, they like have somebody training, and I'll go up to the other bartender and be like, Max, is she ready? And he's like, not yet. So go back in a week or so. I'm like, you ready? I'm like, yes, ma'am. So it's just fun.
Yeah. So speaking of drinks and kind of getting back to the operations topic for a second, I am going to come back to the school, but we can mix this all around like a good drink. Do you still offer 25-cent martinis at lunch? Is that still a thing?
At lunch right now. Okay, get this.
How do you keep that under control?
There's 4 girls in there with the 3 colored martinis on their head in some kind of whatever they've made for Mardi Gras, huh? And then the 4th one's just like a normal martini, I guess. Anyway, they have them on their head. But, you know, the nonsense that goes on about that is really fun. But yes, we absolutely do that. Okay. I don't think that's ever going away.
Can you talk a little bit about your approach of the guest experience from walking in the front door to signing the check and leaving? Can you just kind of talk about, as much as you want to share, like everything really that's happening behind the scenes to make it incredible?
Right. Well, we care about the whole experience. Right. You know, I think sometimes some places you go, it's just they only care about the food, and even that, they just sort of food drop off. They don't know who has what course, you know. I call it the food auction. Who's got the chicken? You know, whatever. Anyway, but we care before you ever get here. We actually like if you can call on the phone and talk to a human. And if you're lucky enough to do that and talk to Jimmy or Marie or Brian or Nanette or Chastity, you're lucky to get to talk to them. And it starts with them. Right. But if you don't want to do that and you want to go on our website, we do it that way. So you can just go do that if that's what you want to do. And that's wonderful and fine with us. But then it's when you pull up. I mean, some of our valets are some of the greatest hospitality folks we've ever had over the years. And so it starts with them. And then you come in and, you know, a lot of times you go to a restaurant and they kind of just nod their head up and they go, table for 2. I mean, that's your welcome. That's what you get. Well, we want a big welcome. We want somebody to say, welcome, you know, happy Mardi Gras, welcome to Commanders today. Yeah. You know, just some big body language making you feel, you know, and of course half the people we know, so we're calling you by name, you know. Right. So it starts there, and then you're escorted to your table, and somebody's going to pull a chair. I mean, we just care about all these things. We work on body language, you know. We work on, you know, the guest has a right, you know, a passage in front of everybody. Like if you're coming up the stairs and the poor fella's got, you know, 8 dishes on a tray, he's going to wait. He's going to wait for you to pass by. And just those things, instead of just somebody brushing by you in a busy restaurant, you know. Yeah. So we care about all those little things, and the team members that we get seem to care too. So it's all of that. And I hadn't said a word yet about the food, which is the most food and hospitality are what we're all about. So it all goes together. And we have had some exciting food lately. We've, you know, Emily and her gang have had a bunch of crazy ideas, and we did them. You know, just different tasting menu ideas, and sometimes it's just fun for us to have a spark, and then the team gets all these crazy ideas of what we could serve that would be like, you know, that we did one about the Super Bowl, and people are still begging for us to keep it because it's have you had that foie gras slider?
A foie gras slider. That sounds ridiculously
and then we had poppers, you know, which is a little quail leg and stuff. Anyway, it just
Jesus. Holy mercy. I'm sorry I missed the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Right? Yeah. But we've continued it because the locals are like, you can't get rid of that. Keep it. So we're doing it for a minute. But most things change quick.
The little things that I notice, I mean, I did work in food service. You know, I think everybody does in college. So in Baton Rouge.
Nice.
When I was at LSU, I worked at Sammy's Grill on Highland. I was a line cook. I did brunch and I did dinner. And
okay, then you know.
Yeah, but it's just like little things, right? And I didn't even pick up on it. But the way the servers, someone will move the salt and pepper shaker if a drink order's been taken. So you can look at a table and know if a drink order's been taken. Right. I just think that's fascinating.
Well, isn't it aggravating to have 3 people ask you if you'd like something to drink?
Well, and that's what I tell people. My perception of Commanders is you really judge a place by the experience. Yeah. And the thing that I love the most about your restaurant is people just seem to magically materialize at the right time to ask the right question, and then poof. But you get to focus on who you were with at the table.
Wow, that's music to my ears. Yeah. And actually, somebody they wrote that in a long time ago in Rolling Stone magazine.
Really?
I mean, we thought we were cool because it was
cool
Rolling
magazine.
Stone, and they said the service magically appears and disappears at all the right times. Let me tell you, that's what we're aiming for. Do we get it right every minute of every day? No, we don't, but that is absolutely what we're aiming for. And like, you know, you get your coffee, you want to pour cold milk in it, so we warm the milk up for you. I mean, you know, just this kind of stuff is your salad plate cold, you know. All that stuff really, really, really matters. But, you know, for us, it's not about us. It's about you. And so we want you to, if you're going to have a quiet romantic dinner or a business meal, or the more raucous things happening right now around Mardi Gras, or just any old Friday lunch at Commander's.
Believe me, I did you a favor by not coming here last night.
Oh,
we got into our cups at the hotel bar, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do this to anybody. And anyway, we don't need to speak of what we got into last night. I will just say I ended up Lafitte's with some purple drink and stumbling out of Portical after a burger and back in bed.
Oh my God.
I made some bad choices last night.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, good choices.
Yeah.
But,
so look, you said Lafitte. So,
yeah.
And you like sayings. One of Mom's sayings was, good girls went to finishing school. I went to Cafe Lafitte.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is not what it is now, either
right.
one of the Lafitte's Blacksmith or Cafe Lafitte. It was a kind of hole in the wally bar, but it was where she felt like sort of the really smart people in town went. Mm-hmm. And then the cool people in town that were interested in talking about the world would come in, whether they were with the ballet or the whatever was visiting. And she just thought it was the most exciting time in her life. And so later in life, when Cafe Lafitte, it moved and all this stuff happened and it became gay bar. And so after Mom was quoted as making that saying, they said, do you think your mom would care if we did a T-shirt that said, good girls went to finishing school, I went to Cafe Lafitte, and I said, she'll never know. Yeah. Just do it. Anyway, I did tell her about it later. She thought it was funny.
Getting back to the experience, one of the things I'd love for you to talk maybe a little bit more about is the dirt to plate within 100 miles policy. Can you want to talk about that?
You did some research. That's an old one. I remember saying that years ago. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. Now we can play around at the edges with whatever we want, but we're trying to have 90% of what we do be from right here.
Right.
Which we have endless possibilities there. I mean, we just mine the depths of Creole, and Cajun, which this is where Creole and Cajun crashed right here in this kitchen. So when you put all that together, it's sort of endless. I mean, I don't know if you sometimes I'll look through a food magazine or even a James Beard magazine about their dinners, and almost all of it has some New Orleans inspiration. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. This being America's greatest indigenous cuisine, so just all that just really, really matters. Yep. I think I've lost track. What were we talking about?
No, we're talking about the dirt to plate.
Dirt to plate, yeah.
And I know, Chef Meg's family, is she from Cutoff or is her family from Cutoff?
Yeah, her family.
Okay. But she goes down the bayou, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, she got family from the city and from the bayou, so I call her my Cajun Creole mutt, But she just gets it. I mean, I haven't had a chef since Paul Prudhomme from here.
Right.
So, I don't have to, she has the same taste memories as me, a lot of them,
mm-hmm.
And so that's really wonderful. I mean, all our chefs, my God, how lucky have we been? But
well, but that's a great point. I didn't even think about that until you said it. The first chef since Prudhomme from Louisiana is Chef Meg.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
it's really
absolutely. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, since we're talking about it, you have great one-liners. Do you have a favorite Cajun joke?
I don't have a good. What's this? Boudreaux and who?
Thibodeau and Boudreaux.
Thibodeau and Boudreaux.
Yeah.
What was the one about the boat? And I don't know. Anyway.
That's okay.
Do you have one? Come on.
Nothing that I could feel comfortable saying in front of you.
Okay.
So there's one. Thibodeau is walking by. Boudreaux sitting on the porch. Thibodeau comes walking by with this beautiful Catahoula puppy.
Uh-huh.
And Boudreaux says, "May Thibodeau, that's a nice. It's a beautiful dog you got there." And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I trade." I got this for my wife, and Boudreaux says, "Man, that's a good trade you made there." I thought that was right.
You got to say it right, and you did. That's perfect.
I can channel it. I grew up here. I went to LSU, and I hung out with some goon asses back in the day. But
Gotta love it.
So no, I keep there are only two menus that I've kept from a dining experience. One's from French Laundry.
Of course. I had dinner with him here last week.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And he's so awesome. We love him.
And the other is from your Chef's Table experience. So.
Oh, you did that?
Oh,
yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. And It's Chef Meg. It was 2022, and
wow.
Everything magically came together.
We must have just started doing that because that was post-COVID.
Yeah, it was post-COVID.
Wow.
Okay. It was 2022.
Yeah.
And Chef Meg put on a show, and it led off with, it was a crab meat and caviar Ramus gin fizz.
Yeah.
I was like, holy God, this is going to be a good night.
Yeah.
And it just got better from there.
Yeah. And the beauty of that is it's so simple. And she even talks about it. She was trying to figure it out for years, and she finally said, just quit adding all, just simple, So it's stunning. I love it.
No, it's really good. You talk about so many awards and so many chefs, that have come through here. So just, my nerd notes, right? So 7 James Beard Foundation Awards. Chefs from Paul Prudhomme, Frank Brightson, Emeril Lagasse, Jamie Shannon, Tori McPhail, and now Megan Bigford When you guys won basically the best restaurant in the country, you literally walked around the restaurant with champagne and said, everybody stop.
Yeah.
Like, we got to celebrate this. But is there something that you're really most proud of? Or no?
Best service in America.
Best service in America.
I think we got it the second or third time they ever gave that award.
Okay.
And I am on a mission to get it again. Nobody's ever gotten any of those awards a second time. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the awards don't mean anything other than they acknowledge all the hard work. And, maybe nobody will ever get anything a second time. But that's what really means something. And my favorite thing that night, we were sitting there at the Beard Awards. I'm like, well, Mom, sitting next to Mom, I'm like, hey, Mom, you got something to say in case you win this? And she looked at me like, you idiot, whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm just asking, you good? Need some help? She's like, I'm good. Anyway, so they call Command's name, and she goes up there, and I got our wonderful young man working with us, Richard Shakespeare, to escort her up there. And this was her entire speech. I accept this for every damn captain and waiter in America. Standing ovation, okay? Because
that's it? That's all she said?
That was it.
Wow.
But it was the way she delivered it, and everybody already loved her, and we're probably tired of all the other long speeches about, whatever. Yeah. And so she just went up there and let them know, I accept this for every day. And I mean, that just one of my favorite moments in my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So let's kick it back to the New Orleans Culinary and Hospitality Institute. I keep wanting to call it NOCHI. I know it's not NOCHI, but that's the first thing I think. No. So what you just call it?
NOCHI.
NOCHI.
It was years before this, but we sort of incorporated or whatever you do with the legal documents in 2013. But we had been working on it for years before that. So it's been a long haul. I mean, I think I'm 13, 14 years in.
So you're on the board. Dickie's on the board, right?
We are co-founders.
Co-founders, sorry.
Yeah, and I'm the chair of the board for the whole time.
Okay.
Which is really stupid. We have some, schools in the area that are great, and we're happy, and particularly, John Folse up in Thibodeau, but that's kind of far away. Mm-hmm. And we're like, how do we not have a major culinary school here in New Orleans? And I mean, it's just like, why do we not have that?
Right.
And so we just decided we had to have that. And then one day my cousin Dickie walked into this building. Have you been in there?
No.
Well, it's stunning. And it was something else. And he was like, well, this is a little too big for a restaurant. So he goes, maybe this is the school. So he calls and we talk about it. And, then we just started. We didn't know what it takes to start a school. So we just dove in. But the whole community did it with us. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Chase family's been with us from the beginning. Emerald's been, Donald and Stephen and Susan Spicer was on my board.
Really?
Edgar Chase was on the board. Now his son, Duck, is on the board. Greg Reggio. I mean, it's a community thing. But the idea was that, you can go to school for 2 or 4 years and get a culinary degree, but not everybody wants to spend that much money. And some of the top ones can cost 30, 40, 50,000 a year.
Right.
So the folks that maybe were, whatever, we wanted a just more intense, just culinary program. And so we actually had that developed for us by CIA, Culinary Institute of America.
Yes.
Yeah, I always have to say cooks, not spies,
Yeah,
anyway,
no, believe me, I've made that mistake before.
Yeah, right. And restaurants, not guns, that one. So anyway, so we did this with them, and then we've creolized the material. And so it is 6 months, knife in hand, day one. Mm-hmm. And it is just an intense program, without the history and English and whatever that you would get in college. So you get this certificate. So we have one in culinary and one in pastry and baking. And we have a whole bunch of people that do both. So that's pretty cool. And it's much less expensive. It's like $17,000.
Is there any, to apply and be accepted, is there any prerequisite for cooking experience?
No.
Or you can, I can never have flipped a burger in my life and walk in and go to school? Okay.
And that is the point. Most people have.
Sure, of course.
Or they're really great home cooks or whatever.
Yeah, curious.
Now, we do all these other things at the school there. We teach hospitality to all the Viking ships. Mm-hmm. So we teach them hospitality.
That's amazing.
And now we're teaching that to other businesses and other organizations. And so there's a lot going on at the school.
Didn't you all do a huge program for the Super Bowl?
We did.
You educate a bunch of people, right?
Yeah, Sodexo. You listened to Kat Kinsman's thing.
I did.
Maybe. Okay.
Foil swans.
No, it's awesome. No, we were so excited about that. We were able to train a bunch of people for Sodexo, and prior to that, Aramark, and we'll be working with some other organizations soon. And that, to me, my main passion in life is hospitality. And I think that New Orleans has something about that completely figured out. But even we need to, professionalize it and systemize it. And so we want to teach that in that way, and also in a business way. And I want, some years from now, if you had a kid growing up, or let's say a hotel guy from Europe says, my kids really want to learn about hospitality. Where do I go? Go to that place in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really dreaming about. And then the culinary thing, we want to just keep pushing. We also want to be a convener of everything going on about food in the New Orleans and the South and the country. So we have big ambitions, but we opened the school in 2019, and that was an interesting 3 years right after that. So, sure. But we're really getting our traction now.
Okay.
Excited.
Do you teach a class?
I teach hospitality to the students every semester. They get a dose of me.
Wow.
And then I do occasional cocktail classes and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Today I was teaching the history of the Sazerac, which I love to do.
So is the Sazerac the official cocktail of New Orleans?
Of Louisiana, I think.
Louisiana. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the Pelican's the state bird, the Sazerac's the state cocktail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I figured you would know. You would be the one. Would be the one to know.
Yeah.
Can you explain the significance or the symbolism of the chef's hat, the toque? Because you walk in your kitchen and they're like, some are really tall. So is it a rank thing or not? I mean, I'm just curious.
For us that and we like to change things, and we will change things. But when I go in a restaurant, and a lot of people aren't going to like this, but everybody's wearing a baseball hat. I'm like, do you play baseball? I mean, we wear the uniform of our profession proudly.
You're not going to like what I have in the bag.
Proudly. I like baseball hats. But, I mean, if you were walking, would Commander's Kitchen look different if everybody in there had a baseball hat on backwards?
Totally.
That was,
Yes.
and whatever the hell else they want to put on. We wear the uniform of our profession.
Love it.
Proudly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Getting back to your family, multi-generational family business, right?
Well, it's really just our parents and then us.
Okay, but
so far.
But there are other Brennans like.
Well,
coming
now
up
the
the
next
ranks,
generation's
right?
coming in. My niece is working here. Vicky's
Yeah.
nephew's working there. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot going on with family. So, what do you think the secret recipe for the continued success of your family legacy? What is that?
Well, I hate the legacy word. We're as good as the last meal we served. That's it. And so, but the family thing can be really wonderful. I mean, there can be moments when you're not getting along, when you'd rather have a fight with somebody you're not related to.
Right.
But you kind of age out of some of that silliness. We just, Lally and I just have always gotten along fantastic. And you're gonna have some disagreements. Sometimes she comes up to me and knocks hard on my head, and she goes, "Your head is hard, hard, hard." That's when she wants me to listen to her. Anyway. But then that makes me laugh, and then we're fine. And then I do whatever she says. But you just have to learn. We've always tried to get people to get as educated as they can in other ways, but let's do what you're good at.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that Lally's way better than me at, and there's a lot of stuff I do she wants no part of.
Right.
And so if you can just kind of figure that out and understand that all those things are important, that's what we've been able to do. We both love the employees and the guests, so we both love all of that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to look at a spreadsheet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And and I don't want to go look at 18 different materials to pick some whatever the hell out. You know what I mean? We just stuff that we both like or don't like. And so I'm like, Jesus H, would you just please do that? And she says yes, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And then we know what all that is now. So I'll just tell Emily, I'm like, Emily, that's a Lally thing. I don't know why you're asking me. Whatever. So.
So talking about some of the other venues that you have, there's Le Petit Bleu, right? Which is, I guess, when people start doing the tours of the cemetery, like, man, those people look hot and thirsty. They need a drink.
So right above there, this is the damn truth, was our actually little conference room right outside my office. So I was often sitting there looking out the window going, these people are walking by in their shorts and their whatever. And I'm like, I got to get some of that.
Yeah. They have money in their pockets,
They
right?
want to come. And they try to come in, and we don't let them, which is so rude. I'm like, okay, we got to do something about that.
Okay.
And Lally and I loved creperies, so we had the idea for a long time.
Yeah.
COVID slowed us up, But so we just kicked the accountant out during COVID and started serving meals. And so once she was ensconced somewhere else, we're like, now's our moment. She's still mad, but anyway. So we just were really excited to do this. The other thing that's come along with that is the collection,
Yes.
And so this is a very different direction for us. I've always said we're pretty damn good restaurateurs and really rotten retailers.
Yeah.
Because people will be in the restaurant and they're like, do you have a bag, or can we do this? I'm like, no, I got nothing. Here's a cookbook. That's it. We're terrible. But now we're getting better at that. Emily and her team, Reed and Michael and the gang have... Lally and I have dreamt that we like to entertain.
Yes.
And so, this little book here is called In the Land of Cocktails,
Yes.
but we also are in the land of entertaining. And we like So we have a lot of products based on that. So it'd be cocktail type products, and then plateware, and then linens, and So we're really are going in this direction, and we have no idea what we're doing, and we sell out of things a lot.
Okay, what's your like bestseller?
Oh, I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay, sorry.
I have to talk about it.
Silk scarves.
The scarf sold out. So how do I know if it wouldn't sell more than the stupid men's socks? Okay, so we don't have enough products for the men. So y'all just buy these socks.
That's okay. I was just going to buy stuff for my wife. I'm going to back up the truck in there.
Well, we got the hat. You know what we're going to do for y'all? We're going to do a pocket square.
Okay.
So won't that be awesome? Because you don't wear ties that much. But
we don't anymore.
But you have a blazer, and maybe you'll do a little...
We love a good pocket square.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little accent.
Yeah. So the scarves, a lot of the art, Tim Traplin is this amazing local artist who does almost all of our art. And so we have fun working with that on so many of our different, things that we've done. And I mean, it's just a blast. Really having fun with that, and proud of the team.
Okay. Last hard question, and then we're going to get on to some fun stuff, if that's okay with you.
What was hard?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing's hard for you.
Okay.
I swear to God, you're a force of nature.
Oh, good Lord.
Over the course of the last 30 minutes, I've heard you say COVID 2 or 3 times, but there was also Katrina. So what was the bigger challenge for you coming back from Katrina or COVID?
COVID.
Okay.
And I mean,
why
am I saying that? Because Katrina's 20 years ago now. The whole world changed during COVID. And it's because people left every single industry where they worked nights, holidays, or weekends. After they sat home for 6 months or something, they said, maybe I don't want to do that.
Right.
And that affected airlines.
Yes.
Hotels.
Yeah, service, hospitality, everywhere. Yeah.
Nursing, medical. Anybody working nights, holidays, and weekends, everybody left our industries.
Right.
And then, 1 million people died. That was a problem. Awful. And then, so between all of that, and then a lot of people my age retired early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people did retire.
I know some, great captains and waiters, and they're like, I'm done.
Well, if I'm 59, I was going to retire at 62. What the hell? I'm done.
Right.
Right. I get
it. So the workforce just really changed, and then so for us to re-up the team is just we're not even there yet. I mean, you can get in this business where it's like a ballet, and everybody knows where everybody's going, and it's all just beautiful, and you put your hand behind your back while you're talking at a table, and somebody grabs something out of your hand. It's just But to get to that. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of years, and we do, I think, really great training here, but some of it's just experience. So that was much harder, and we tried just reopening because, we were going broke like everybody with less service, and then Lally and I and the whole team looked at each other, on like day 3 and said, that's it. We're just going to shut down. If we can only open one room, that's what we're going to do. If that's what we have staff for, that's what we're going to do. And that's what we've done. So we're still not quite open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lunch.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and you can't, I can just hire waiters and they can be pretty good, but you can't be a captain with the level of knowledge that we're looking for quickly.
I did want to ask you about picnic provisions and whiskey. Is that okay to ask about?
That's awesome.
Because look, if I had to say, James Lewis, what is your favorite comfort food? Thank you for asking. I'll tell you. It's fried chicken.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the menu and I saw crawfish boiled fried chicken. I was like, what the hell? So look, I want to go over there.
You got to go.
And I'm assuming it's open during Mardi Gras, right? It's not like you're closed during Mardi Gras.
Yeah. We're closed on Mondays. I don't know if we're closed this Monday or not. But
so it's legit.
I'm so proud of that place. So it's, New Orleans version of hot fried chicken.
And you did it with...
Daryl Reginelli, my partner.
Yeah.
And Tori, my chef at the time, he's moved on. So it's just Daryl and I. And but I'm so damn proud of that place. I mean, between the... like our potato salad has this, crumble on top of it with like Zapp's chips and this and that. I mean, it's just really
That's awesome.
Yummy. And then we even now have a smash burger. But I mean, it's comfort food. It's order at the counter and then sit down. We'll bring it to you, so it's not Commander's Palace.
Sure.
And I love that place. I mean, I'll put our chicken sandwich up against anybody's and our chicken. And we just, what did we win? We won best fried chicken in New Orleans. It's damn good chicken.
Okay.
But there are other options there. I love the picnic salad. And, like on our salad, the croutons are made with our biscuits, leftover biscuits. Like it's making my mouth water right now. It's just really a great salad. The tuna salad's good too. And I'm nuts for the pimento. So,
you're punching all my right buttons.
I know. It is awesome.
Biscuit croutons, Zapp's crumble on the potato salad.
Jeez. Come on.
I mean, look,
and then the chicken sandwich, because I'm sure you love those. So it's got, we pickle the mirlitons, ourselves there, and then we have something called miso mayo. Okay. Now, I'm going to challenge you to do this. When you go, get some chicken, even if it's just on the sandwich, and get some miso mayo. Taste the chicken without, just fried chicken, and then try it with the miso mayo. Okay. I cannot eat chicken without it now.
Okay.
It is like crazy good. Crazy good.
Sold. I might head over there after I leave. This is a serious question, then fun question. You're very supportive of the New Orleans restaurant community.
I hope so.
You are. I watch your Instagram reels. I see like, hey, let's get out there and help Maypop. I see it. Right?
They're amazing.
So I was just going to ask you, outside of your family businesses, like who do you think around here like really gets it right, like does it right? Like
I think culinarily, this is one of the 3 most exciting times in the history of New Orleans food.
Okay.
I mean that with all my heart. I mean, you go up the street to Saffron Nola, like Indian, and it makes so much sense. Those people have been here forever. Wonderful family, and then so this is very natural to them. The combination of the Indian food and the New Orleans food, and then what he's doing at Maypop, I think is off the charts, amazing. I was up at Saint Germain.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I'm like, you don't even know that's there. And then you go in and you think you're like in Manhattan having one of the most amazing meals ever. I mean, I was at Budsy's Thai the other night. I mean, how good is that? And they make a damn good drink. I mean, and wait, let's talk about Akamaya. Okay. I mean, so nothing... New Orleans food was same. Then Mom came along at Brennan's, and with her family, they upped that game and said, come on, we're going to create all this. And, she said this was the long tradition of New Orleans breakfast. She made half that shit up and just made these amazing breakfasts, okay? And then they came here and did jazz band, and then they came with Paul Prudhomme and do it again. So then you get the era of, Emerald and Frank Bryson and Susan. Okay, now that was an exciting. And I think we're in a time where we're really pushing forward. Now, I want more people, I know they feel it, but I want more people to be more devoted to the hospitality. I mean, our friends at, Doug Chase and some of these places, a lot of places are really trying and doing great. But we want even more focus on that. But I think food-wise, we are killing it.
Yeah, it's the best city on the planet. For sure.
New York has more depth.
Yes. Okay.
So it's the greatest food city in the world, and I think San Francisco and Chicago. But I think in New Orleans, the thing is it's hard to go wrong.
Right.
You can.
It's fair.
But it's hard to go wrong.
Yeah.
At a restaurant or somebody's house. I was saying today that oftentimes in my life, they'd say, who's your big competitor? I'm like, home cooks. I mean, these people can cook. Yeah. So when they come in here and tell you something about your whatever dish, it's because they know. Not too many places you can say that to that degree.
Okay. So more of a lightning round. Which one do you like more, Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest? Which do you prefer?
That ain't right.
I know. It's a tough question. Look, I wrote an article about it. I can answer this for me, but I'm just curious.
Do it.
Jazz Fest.
Really?
Yeah.
See, tomorrow is my favorite day of the year. I ride an Iris.
Oh, you do ride an Iris?
Yeah. Awesome. And so it's my best day.
What float? What side?
17A top deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, come check you
Sidewalk
out.
Sidewalk
side. So Mardi Gras. Favorite snowball flavor?
I hate snowballs.
You hate snowballs?
It's just too damn sweet. My mother loved them. Okay. I don't like them.
Oh. Favorite cocktail?
Okay, at least I get to do summer, winter. So I think
yes.
Some of the greatest cocktails in the world are very, very simple.
Yes.
A daiquiri, a real daiquiri, and people say it's a girly drink, and if it goes somewhere and they ask me, what flavor frozen daiquiri would I like, I'm like, man, I have the wine list. Anyway, but a real daiquiri should just be rum, lime, and sugar, perfectly balanced, not too sweet. That's what I like to drink a lot of the year, and then all sorts of other drinks, and one in here called Tequila Mockingbird. But my winter drink is something called a Blood and Sand.
Okay.
And
what's in that? I've never had that one.
I know. I just hate this. I'd rather give it to you.
Okay, that's fine.
You try one.
Let's go to the bar.
Okay. Well, we'll go to the bar and you can have one, and then I'll tell you. Because if I tell you, you'll go, But if you drink it,
there isn't too much I wouldn't put in my body. I'll just tell you that.
Okay. Good to know.
So... is there any place in the world that you cannot ship turtle soup, or can you ship it anywhere?
We only ship it in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anywhere in the U.S., though?
Yeah.
So I could order it and it comes to me in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Through Goldbelly, our wonderful partners at Goldbelly. Yep.
Okay. All right. It's time for the gift portion of the show. You ready for this?
I don't know.
All right. Because you made me really nervous when you said baseball hats. All right. So every guest...
I love baseball hats, just not in my kitchen.
Okay. So you're going to like this. Every guest of Southern character gets a hat, and these are also available for sale at retiresouthern.com. But we have 4 different styles that represent 4 different characters. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pull them out, and you get to pick which one you like the most. So the pink and white is called the bell, like the bell of the ball. So there's the retired Southern patch on the front and Southern character embroidered on the back.
These are cute.
All right. So maybe they'd be in Le Petit Bleu. Anyway, so then I call this one the coastal. So there's the blue, the light blue, the navy, and this is a tricolor. The rest are 2 colors.
And it says the same thing?
Yeah, Southern character on the back.
Awesome.
This one's featured next to an old-fashioned on the bar. It's called the Classic. So navy in the front, khaki in the back. That one. And
This is hard.
The last not least, I call this one the Campfire. This is like, a lot of people prefer this one. I interviewed Ford Fry. He picked this one. Your cousin Ralph picked that one. Anyway, this is the Campfire, green and black, but still Southern character.
Tough,
So,
man.
which do you like?
That's tough. Well, I'm getting ready to go to the Bahamas with my girlfriends. I got to go pink.
You're going to go pink?
I got to go pink.
Okay, you're going with the bell. You hear that, everybody? T. Martin likes the bell. Well, is there anything else that I didn't ask you about that you wanted to cover today?
Well, it was just fun. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to Southern Character. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it and follow us wherever you podcast. You can also check out our website and socials, retiredsouthern.com, for more great content and merch. If you have any questions, email me, james@retiredsouthern.com. I'm ready to move this conversation to the bar for blood and sand.
Indeed.
Let's do this.
Well done. Thank you, James.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.